Okay, today we'll be moving on with visitors and was the chapter that is on the face of it, part 1. Here the writer is Susan Hill, and what is he trying to talk about in this lesson? That is, what is he saying? That there are things, okay, may not be the same. We come across so many things, so many people, but as they seem, as they look, might be in reality, they won't be such. And at first glance, something appears from outside in a different manner. At first glance, we have an opinion or build up an opinion that this person is such so and so, the thing is so and so, okay? But at times it will happen that the opinions keep on changing at different and there are differences in the opinion of different people regarding a particular subject. That is what the theme is. And as we read, we see Susan as very beautifully is a playwright. He has a versatile character in the field of English literature, fiction and so on, and drama. And this drama is a drama which is staged on, and the character what he has chosen, only 3 characters are there, and this is a conversation going on between 2 people mostly, and in between the 3rd character, that is Derry is the main character and Mr. Lamb the old man. Derry a child of 14 years, and the mother in between we see who comes in the picture. Well, this is the throughout a conversation going on between Derry and his and Mr. Lamb. Okay. By the way, I will go with the introduction. This is a play featuring an old man and a small boy meeting in the farmer's garden. Means Mr. Lamb, forward is Mr. Lamb, his old man's name is, and we find the small boy Derry in his garden where the conversation goes on. Old man strikes up a friendship with the boy who is very withdrawn and defiant. Means the small boy is very suppressed, very tense, and always tries to keep himself aloof from the people. And when this old man, Mr. Lamb, comes to know about this, what does he try? He tries to divert him from the thoughts or from his depression and tries to build up a friendship with him. And then what is the bond that unites the two? And a very good understanding at the later or end of this chapter, we see that a good connection or an intimacy or a closeness develops between each other. Let's go with the lesson. And first scene is, as I told you, it's Mr. Lamb's garden, and some song occasionally in between, some sounds of the birds singing, then the trees falling from the leaves falling from the trees. This sound is being heard. And apart from these 2 sounds, Derry's footsteps are heard, which indicates that Derry is slowly and quietly moving on in that garden, and through the long grass. In that garden, long grass is there, and Derry, as he is a small boy of 14, in between he is not visible or he cannot see anything on both the ends because the grass is coming or passing through the long grass. He pauses, then walks again. He is cautious because, why he pauses? Because he is conscious that no one else watches him or scolds him and so on. So he is looking here and there and slowly moving on in the garden. He comes around the screen of bushes so that when Mr. Lamb speaks to him, he is close at hand and Derry is startled. So as he is moving, all of a sudden what happens is he hears a voice, and this voice is who? This Mr. Lamb's, and as Derry feels that no one is there in the garden, so he is moving on, and all of a sudden when he hears an unknown voice, and Mr. Lamb he is speaking to to Derry, then Derry is startled, means he is astonished, surprised. Mr. Lamb, mind the apples, Derry? What? Who? That? Who's there? So, mind the apples. Mind the apples means be careful with the apples. That's what Mr. Lamb said. And Derry, he was not knowing that anyone is there. So, he is asking, who is that? What do you want? And so on. Mr. Lamb introduces him that his name is Lamb, and he is asking that be careful about those apples. And those apples are crab apples. They are apple-like but golden or orange, golden orange in color, and they taste a bit sour. So they are known as crab apples. And he is saying be careful. Why? Because he says that because of the wind, these apples are ripened, and so they have fallen down, and they have no one can see because he is walking through the long grass. So somewhere here and there might be these apples are fallen. So Dairy is not aware of, and he might put his leg and slip down. So Mr. Lamb is making him cautious. I thought there was an empty place. I didn't know there was anybody here. Really saying, oh, it is you. I thought this place is empty and nobody is here, and that's why I came here. Mr. Lamb doesn't have any problem, and so he says that it doesn't matter, and Dairy did not be afraid that he has entered the place. I thought it was empty, an empty house. So Dairy is telling, I thought that no one stays here. The garden is also empty, and the house is also empty. So what does Mr. Lamb says? Mr. Lamb says, yeah, of course the house is empty, because right now I am in the garden and I am the only one who stays there in the house. So as I am in the garden, no one is there inside the house, not a day to be indoors. So he is telling that a beautiful scene is there outside, and his time passes well and the garden, so he doesn't want to be in the doors or within the house. So Dairy is little bit afraid, and he says, oh, I got to go. Mr. Lamb is saying that if you have to go, it is your, but not because I am here, you have to go, don't go. I don't mind who comes in the garden. Say, don't be afraid and don't go away because of me, because I don't mind anyone who comes. My gate is always open. Anyone can come in and go. And then he must have seen that Dairy must have climbed the wall and then come. So he's saying that you are the only one who did not come through the gate, but you have climbed down the wall and entered the garden. You need not do that. Don't be afraid. The door is always open. You can enter. So Dairy gets angry and saying, oh, you were watching me how I entered the house. So Mr. Lamb says, yes, I saw you, but the gate is also open. So I am just making you or giving you the liberty that you did not climb down the wall. The gate is always open, and you are also welcome to my garden. I would not come to steal anything. So Dairy is telling, I have not come here to steal anything. Mr. Lamb denies and says that no one, you are a grown-up child, naturally you will not do, but small kids who come here and they just want for fun or curiosity, they one of the two apples they steal out, but you are not so, you are quite grown-up and young. I just wanted to come into the garden. And he says, I don't have any intention to steal anything from here, just I felt the place is empty, vacant, and that's why I had come. So you did. Here we are then. So Lamb is saying, Acha, is it so? Now good that we are, I am also alone, you are also alone, we are together. You don't know who I am. Then he said, how do you say that we are together? You don't know. How do you welcome me, an unknown person? So you don't know who I am. A boy 13 or so. So Mr. Lamb is saying, yeah, you are a boy and might be your age is 13 or 14 something. Dairy says that no, it's 14 and I have got to go now, goodbye. Says I am 14 years and immediately says that he has to go, and he bids him bye. Nothing to be afraid of, just a garden, just me. Mr. Lamb felt that Dairy is afraid and that's why he wants to go. They say, you don't need to be afraid of anything in my garden, okay? Just I am here and no one else. So Dairy is saying, I am not afraid of anything. And then he pauses. People are afraid of him. Says, I am not afraid of anyone or anything. People are afraid of me. And then Mr. Lamb says, why people should be afraid of you? Then he says, everyone is afraid of me. And I don't care. It doesn't matter who they are. I don't care the people, whosoever they are, whatever they say, or how they look at me, how do they stare at me, and sometimes how they pretend and how they look at me. I am least bothered, but they are afraid of me. See what Mr. Lamb is saying. People, you say that because Dairy was saying that people see at me, they stare at me. So Mr. Lamb is asking, see what they think. So Dairy is saying that whatever they think, they stare at me, they look at me. What do they think then? Mr. Lamb is saying, what do they like? You think here's a ball. You look at me and then you see my face and then you think, silly, that they look at me, they think so many things, they see at my face, then think of me and my face and so on. That's very bad. That's a terrible thing. Say that they behave in this manner and really I don't like. That's the ugliest thing I've ever seen. I've seen people doing that. They'll stare at me, they'll go away from me, they'll think something before and then after looking at me, something else they'll think. Underneath you are afraid. Okay? He's saying that ugliest thing, you think poor boy, but I am not poor. He's saying that they feel that I am poor. Poor here is not poor, becharas. He's saying they show their pity on me and so on, but I don't like these people showing pity on me. I am not poor. And your people say that they try to show soft corner for me, but in their heart, is underneath this, in their heart, they are afraid of me. And anybody would be as I am, because it's not natural as I know. Naturally, anyone would be afraid of me. And he says, even I myself, whenever I look into the mirror, then he says, I am also at times afraid of me. No, not the whole of you, not of you. So, Mr. Lamb tries to show a soft corner. He is saying, no, not the whole of you, means you are, just your face is a bit different, but you are after all a very good child and no one is afraid of you, but of course your face. Then he says, yes, and he pauses, waits for a while. Later on, when it's a bit cooler, I'll get the ladder and stick and pull down this crab. Mr. Lamb says that as the apples get ripen and the atmosphere is bit cool, then what he would do, he would take the ladder and then try to get down, pull down the apples. So he is asking that, will you help me to do that? And it could be in the month of September. See, and he then points out the beautiful orange and golden color, and then he is trying to divert the topic and is saying, see how beautiful these apples are, good color, they are magical fruit, and I will make jelly and then that is why I need to plug down the apples. And he is asking, you could give me a hand, means will you help me to do this? What have you changed the subject for? People always do that. They understood and saying that, why did you change the subject? Why did you change the topic? Normally whosoever meets me, they do that. And why don't you ask me? Why do you do what they all do and pretend it isn't true and isn't there? So he's saying, why do you behave like others? Why don't you ask me straight away? What is the problem? People always do that. They look at me and then they try to hide out or pretend as if something what they feel they don't say and something what they say is not true. I'll tell you, you don't ask me because you are afraid. So then Daddy says, doesn't matter, I will tell you this. Daddy will tell what is the matter because he feels that Mr. Lamb is afraid of asking or looking at his face like others. You want me to ask? Say so. Then Mr. Lamb is saying, okay, you want to ask me? You want me to ask you what is the problem and so on? Okay, then tell me. They say, I don't like being with people, any people. Saying I hate people. I always want to be aloof, alone. I want to stay in solitude. I don't like people around me or mingle with people. I should say, to look at it, I should say, and you got a burn in the fire. Mr. Lamb is saying that, I think looking at you, I feel that your face must have got burned with fire or something. Then he says, no, not with fire. Some acid had fallen on my face and it has burnt away my whole face. It ate my face up, it ate me up. He is saying that this acid has not only eaten up my face or spoiled my face, but he has eaten my existence also. Means my existence is spoiled. I am in this world, part of this world, but I am not accepted by anyone or no one wants to see me or come next to me. It won't ever be any different. And now it's like saying that now as my face is, no change will take place and no change will ever come in my life. Mr. Lamb says, no, it will never happen. Then he says, why? Aren't you interested to listen what I say? Are you a boy who came into the garden? Plenty do. I am interested in anybody. Anything? That's nothing God made that doesn't interest me. Mr. Lamb is saying, no, you are the boy when you came to the garden. Since then I am interested. Plenty of people come here and whosoever is part of this universe, means God has made whosoever, let it be human beings, animals, what trees, whatsoever they are, I am interested in everything made by God. And you see, that is why I am in the garden. You see the birds, the plants, you, everyone. Derry doesn't accept. So everything is rubbish. Rubbish? Look boy, look, what do you see? And then he's showing some grass were there. So pointing to that grass, and among the grass, some stuff is saying, you know what it is? They are called weeds. That is how Mr. Lamb was asking him. So Derry answered, yes, they are weeds. Some call them weeds if they like. Then a weed garden that there is fruit and there are flowers. So Mr. Lamb is saying, yeah, some call them by that name. But in my garden, you see, I have not shown any difference. Okay, is there one end the flowers are there, the plants which bear flowers, fruits are there, and in the other end you see that I have not. Weeds are unwanted plants. People pluck them out, but I have not done that. I have just kept them as they are, and after all, they are also a type of herbs. They also bear fruits. They are also bear flowers, and so they also got the right to live in this world. And he is telling, why is one green growing plant called a weed and another a flower? He is saying, this different. Someone called this is named by weed and the other one by a plant or the flower. Where is the difference? Why do people differentiate that? It's all life growing, same as you and me. He is saying, everything is part of life and everything is equal as you and me. We are not the same. Then he says, no, how can you and me be the same? We are different. Mr. Lamb is saying, yeah, what difference is there? I am old and you are young. You have got a burnt face, and he says, I have got a thin leg. Not important. So he's saying this difference is there, but that's not important. That will not affect our relationship. You are understanding there, I am sitting here. So he's saying, you are standing there and I am sitting here. This also is a difference. Why have you got a thin leg? Immediately, as Mr. Lamb told him that he has got a thin leg, so he is asking, oh, is it so? How do you get that thin leg? What is the problem? And he is saying, real one got blown off years back. Mr. Lamb is telling his story, how he lost his leg. Saying that real legs, they once got blown off. Say, and lamb, some kids say, and small boy, I used to just like a lame, I used to walk, I could not walk properly. So kids used to pass me and they nicknamed me lamb. Haven't you heard them? Saying they are asking, Mr. Lamb is asking Derry that, don't you know, haven't you heard children calling me by that name? It fits, doesn't trouble me. They are saying I have taken it very casually because of course because I am lame they call me by that name and it fits me, so I am very comfortable. I don't think it troubles me. But you can put on trousers and cover it up and no one sees. They don't have to please and stare. Saying, but you have an option that you can cover it with a full pant and so on with a trouser and no one can see that your leg, that you have lame legs and so on, and or artificial legs, and people will not stare at you also. Mr. Lamb says, yeah, some do, some don't. They get tired of it in the end. There's plenty of other things to stare at. He's saying, yes, few people stare at me and few people don't. It depends on person to person. Okay, and they keep on watching. Some get tired because I will not change. What is this? Lame leg will always be there with me. So when they get tired, they stop staring at me. So they say, oh, is it like my face? Like crab apples on the weeds or a spider climbing up a silken ladder or my tall sunflowers. So Mr. Lamb is saying, no, like those crab apples, those weeds, those spider climbing the lamp, silken thread, climbing the silk thread and the tall flowers, the sunflowers. It is like this. People look and then for time being and they turn off. Things, there is asking, what do you mean? It's all relative, beauty and the best. They say that beauty and the best gives a reference and saying these are all related to each other. What's that supposed to mean? Derry got a bit interested in Mr. Lamb's talk. So he's saying that, what is that? What do you mean by this beauty and best? You tell me. Mr. Lamb is saying, okay, you tell me what does that mean. You didn't think they haven't all told me that fairy tale before. So he's saying that you don't need to tell me. This is a fairy tale and people have told me earlier. That's what Derry says. It's not what you look like, it's what you are inside. And Derry gives the meaning that beauty and the beast means that it is your inner beauty that matters and that attracts people, not the outer beauty. Handsome is as handsome does. Is saying that your looks are not important to everyone, as your inner self, how good a person you are, that's more important rather than your looks. And that is how Derry understood, and he gives that handsome is handsome, beauty loved the monsters, and he gives the meaning that there was one monster, beautiful lady who fell in love with the monster and for himself, and when she kissed him, he changed into a handsome prince. So this beautiful girl did not bother to did not bother to the look of the monsters, and when she kissed the monsters, because the inner feeling of this inner beauty of the monsters attracted this beauty, that is the princess, and as soon as she kissed this monsters, the monster's luck changed and he turned up to be a handsome prince, and only he have stayed a monster beast, I won't change. He's saying that had she beauty not considered this monster as his partner, her partner, then he wouldn't have been changed into a handsome. But that was a story. In my case, things will never change. That is how Derry shows his